when we think about trauma, right, what we usually think about is the actual incident. What we also need to consider is the build up to that incident or to that event, and as well the aftermath, because both of those parts are equally as important than the actual event itself. Because if there was a difficult build up, then...
Well, what do you mean by build up?
So I'll use the example of the genocide. If life was fantastic for everyone and then this happened, the way that we respond to it is very different to, for example, the Nakba happening, the occupation that's existed, the killing that was already happening before the actual genocide. There is already a
like
kind
a
of
baseline of anxiety or something.
Yes,
right?
that has... not really a baseline of anxiety, but like a baseline of events that add to the picture, you know, that to the picture or to the event that we're seeing. So it's not like just a random thing. No, it's like what we're witnessing now is years upon years of like occupation, years upon years of dehumanization. So it wasn't like a random overnight thing, right? So when we're seeing these images, like all of this stuff that has happened, right, the build up is coming back to the forefront. Right. So then you have the build up, then you have the actual things that you know, the events and the scenes that we are witnessing, and then there's the aftermath. So the aftermath of that, and what we are seeing now, like for example, the aftermath is, for example, the silence, the enabling, the
erasure,
yes, the, you know, the isolation that everyone's feeling,
the criminalization of, you know, certain words, of certain expressions, of certain ways of speaking and engaging.
All of that then again influences our response to this event that we are seeing. So it's never just an isolated experience. And even though, like, you know, our initial thoughts are like, no one likes to see, you know, beheaded babies. No one likes to see that, right? But then that's already quite distressing enough as it is. But when we look at those two other parts, it adds to the distress. Right, and that's what, you know, when we talk about the normality of it, none of it is normal. The build up, the actual events, and the aftermath, none of it is normal.
I see what you're saying, because it's like if there was, I don't know if this is exactly the best example, but but if there was a natural disaster, say, that came out of nowhere, you know, it like really hit hard, and it caused some serious damage, and we were seeing images of, you know, dead bodies and horror.
And the response was like coming in, let's help them, let's provide aid, like appropriate aid that matches the level of destruction. Then you'll be like, oh, okay, like it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
And it's still trauma, but this is different.
Yes. Now it becomes like a different kind of, it hits much more deeper.